There's a moon orbiting Jupiter that holds more liquid water than the entire planet Earth. You can't see that water, it's locked beneath a shell of ice kilometers thick. But underneath, in the cold and the dark, scientists are now almost certain there's a vast, salty global ocean that has been sloshing quietly for billions of years. It has water, it has energy, and it may have everything else a living thing needs. If we ever find life beyond Earth, there is a very real chance it won't be on Mars. It'll be here, on Europa. Europa is a little smaller than our own moon, and at first glance it looks almost serene, one of the smoothest objects in the entire solar system. Almost no mountains, almost no impact craters, but look closer and the whole surface is scratched with a chaotic web of reddish-brown cracks and ridges, running for thousands of kilometers. A surface that's smooth and that young means something is constantly resurfacing it, wiping away the craters, splitting the ice, and painting it with material welling up from below. The cracks were the first clue that Europa is not a dead ball of ice. What's doing the resurfacing is the thing that makes Europa famous, an ocean. Beneath an outer shell of water ice, somewhere between 15 and 30 kilometers thick, scientists believe there is a global ocean of liquid water, not lakes, not pockets, but one connected sea wrapping the entire moon, perhaps 60 to 150 kilometers deep, a whole world's worth of dark, salty water sealed under a frozen sky of ice, with no land and no surface in sight, and the amount of water down there is hard to take in. Europa is smaller than our moon, yet its hidden ocean is thought to hold roughly twice as much liquid water as every ocean, sea, lake, and river on Earth combined. A moon you could drop into the Pacific contains more than double all the water on our entire planet. It is, by volume, one of the largest bodies of liquid water we know of anywhere, and it's been hiding in plain sight one planet over the whole time. But how can anyone be confident about an ocean nobody has ever seen, sealed under kilometers of ice? The strongest evidence came from NASA's Galileo spacecraft in the 1990s, and it's wonderfully clever. As Europa moves through Jupiter's powerful magnetic field, something inside the moon pushes back, generating its own magnetic signal. The only thing that fits is a global layer of salty, electrically conductive liquid, a saltwater ocean acting like a giant wire wrapped around the moon. We didn't see the water, we detected its magnetism. The surface backs it up. Those reddish cracks and jumbled blocks, called chaos terrain, look exactly like what you'd get if slabs of ice broke apart, drifted, and refroze on a sea below, like pack ice on a polar ocean. And the rusty color staining the cracks appears to be salts, carried up from the ocean and dumped on the surface. Europa is leaking hints of its hidden sea straight onto its own skin. Read the cracks and you're reading the chemistry of the water underneath. It raises the obvious question. How is there liquid water that far from the sun, where everything should be frozen solid? The answer is Jupiter itself. Europa is squeezed and stretched by the giant planet's immense gravity as it orbits, flexing the whole moon over and over. That constant kneading generates heat deep inside, tidal heating, and it's enough to keep an ocean from freezing for billions of years, no sunlight required. Europa isn't warmed from above. It's warmed from within, by the gravity of the world it circles. And that gives Europa something remarkable, the full recipe for life, all in one place. Life as we understand it needs three things: liquid water, an energy source, and the right chemistry. Europa has the water, an entire ocean of it. It has the energy, from that endless tidal heating, and it likely has the chemistry too, salts, carbon compounds, and oxidants. Every box we know how to check, this frozen little moon quietly ticks. It doesn't mean life is there, but it means the conditions might be right. The most exciting possibility lies on the sea floor. On Earth, some scientists think life may have begun at hydrothermal vents, cracks in the deep ocean floor where mineral-rich, heated water pours out, feeding whole ecosystems in total darkness with no sunlight at all. Europa's rocky seafloor, warmed by all that tidal energy, could host the very same kind of vents. If life can start in the black depths of our oceans without a single ray of sun, then in principle, it could start in Europa's too. But how would we ever sample an ocean buried under 20 kilometers of ice, without drilling through it? Europa might just hand us a sample for free. Using the Hubble Space Telescope, astronomers have spotted what look like plumes of water vapor erupting hundreds of kilometers up off Europa's surface, geysers, venting the ocean straight into space. They're faint and intermittent, and still being confirmed, but if they're real, they're extraordinary. The inside of the ocean, sprayed up above the ice where a passing spacecraft could fly right through it. That's the dream, no drill required. Fly a spacecraft through a plume, catch a few droplets, and analyze water that was, minutes earlier, inside an alien ocean. You could check it for salts, for organic molecules, even for the chemical fingerprints of biology, all without ever touching the surface. A geyser on a moon of Jupiter, offering to mail us a sample of the most promising ocean in the solar system. The only thing missing was a spacecraft built to catch it. Now there is one. In October 2024, NASA launched Europa Clipper, the largest spacecraft it has ever built for a planetary mission, its solar wings stretching wider than a basketball court. After a journey of nearly 6 years, it arrives at Jupiter in 2030, and will make around 50 close flybys of Europa, dipping low over the ice again and again. It carries radar to peer down through the crust, cameras, and instruments to sniff the thin atmosphere and any plume it can catch. There's one careful catch: Europa Clipper is not a life detector. It won't tell us whether anything is swimming down there. Its job is to answer the question just beneath that one. Is Europa actually habitable? Is the ocean really there? How thick is the ice? What is the chemistry? It's gathering the evidence that a future mission, one that might one day land and drill, would need. We're not going to meet Europa's aliens yet. We're going to find out, for the first time, whether they could exist at all. There's a twist in Europa's favor hidden inside something deadly. Jupiter is wrapped in belts of ferocious radiation, and Europa orbits right inside them. The surface is bathed in a dose that would kill a human in minutes. It's the reason Europa Clipper won't settle into orbit around the moon at all. Instead, it loops around Jupiter and makes quick flybys, darting in close and then ducking back out to spare its electronics. But that same brutal radiation does something useful. It slams into the surface ice and splits the water apart, manufacturing oxygen and other reactive chemicals right on top. If Europa's cracking, churning crust carries even a fraction of those oxidants down into the sea, it would deliver exactly the kind of chemical energy living things can feed on. The radiation that makes the surface lethal may be quietly fertilizing the ocean below. And Europa, it turns out, is not alone. Over the last couple of decades, the solar system has given up an astonishing secret. It is full of hidden oceans. Saturn's little moon, Enceladus, fires towering geysers of salty water straight into space, and NASA's Cassini actually flew through them, tasting salts and organic molecules sampled directly from its buried sea. Jupiter's giant moon, Ganymede, probably Callisto, and Titan all seem to cradle oceans of their own beneath the ice. We used to imagine liquid water was rare and precious, confined to one pale blue dot. Instead, locked away under all that frozen crust, the outer solar system may hold many times more liquid water than Earth has ever had. Europa is simply the closest and the most promising shore of them all. And Europa Clipper is only the opening move. If it confirms what we suspect, that the ocean is real, the ice is thin enough in places, and the chemistry is right, the next step is already being imagined. A lander that could set down on that cracked surface, scoop up the ice, and search it directly for the fingerprints of life. And further out, in the dreams of engineers, are machines that could one day melt their way down through kilometers of ice and swim in the ocean itself. They are slowly and carefully building toward the moment we finally answer the oldest question there is: are we alone? And Europa may be where we ask it first. So step back and look at what's hiding one planet over. A small cracked frozen moon, smoother than a billiard ball scratched with rusty salt, wrapped around a dark global ocean with more water than all of Earth, kept warm for billions of years by nothing but Jupiter's pull, possibly lined with hydrothermal vents, and venting samples of itself into space. Everything life needs, sealed under the ice of another world. We don't yet know if anyone's home, but Europa is too strange and too promising to be real.